Pounders, welcome back. Tonight we're going to have an exciting show. Neil Orfield joins me, a previous Millie Maker winner, two-time, I believe it's BBM4 finalist. He'll let us know in a sec. And just his story is unbelievable. I believe you started DFS back in college, Neil. Is that correct?
I'm a little bit older than that. So it was post college for me. I did have my first entries in 2011, but I graduated college in 2006. So
Very cool.
DFS
Okay.
wasn't around when I was in college. But yeah,
Copy.
I was grinding for years before finally broke through in 2019. I had some winning years prior to that, but that's when I really
Yeah.
started having a lot of DFS success.
That's amazing. And then you got into the fantasy space. You started writing, podcasting. Now you have your own show on YouTube. Link is in the description, and I strongly suggest you give Neil a follow, both on Twitter and in the YouTube machine.
Appreciate you.
But can you walk us through a little bit of your early days DFS? What led you up to playing best ball?
Yeah, so I'll start at the beginning. I started playing DFS just because my brother wanted to have a stand-in bro night on Wednesdays where we would watch the Timberwolves. That was actually 2013. So I played a little bit before then, but that's when I really got into it because I didn't really watch basketball. I didn't care about the Timberwolves at the time. I was like, all right, I'll do this DFS thing to give me some reason to care about the Timberwolves. But then got super obsessed with the Timberwolves pretty quickly. Also got super obsessed with DFS. So that's around 2013. As I said, I was playing basically daily. Starting that in 2013, mostly NBA to start, and then I think NFL was probably my second love, and then eventually started playing MLB. So yeah, I played a ton
Wow.
of DFS. Like I said,
Wow.
kind of broke through in 2019. So after I won the Millie, I credited Osimo at the time
Yep.
with their projections helped me win the Millie.
That's awesome.
And the following summer, I kind of decided I want to get away from my job. So I was a lawyer previously. I was like, I kind of hate my
Very
job.
cool.
I'd like to break into content and or just be a full-time DFS player. So I reached out to Alex Baker, Osimo, who was
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
had posted a job listing and took a job at Osimo that fall, part-time to start, then went full-time for a while. Um, I'm trying to think when I actually got into best ball. So, and I should say, I've been playing season-long fantasy football since as long as I can remember. And I've been
Oh yeah.
obsessive about it. Like I was the guy who
Yep.
was too serious about it, in college with all my college teammates, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've always been kind of obsessed with it. It was kind of inevitable that when best ball became a thing, I was going to get into it. And yeah,
Very cool.
my first year maxing was probably after I won the Millie. Probably didn't have the money to do it prior to that. So yeah, I maxed out BBM three, and yeah,
Okay.
so it was BBM three that I got two entries into the
It was
final.
BBM3.
Did not
So
get
cool.
any in last year, sadly.
Hey,
But yeah,
it'll,
obsessed at
it'll,
this
it'll
point.
be like that in these style
Yeah.
contests where you're supposed to make it once every 8 years. So get to realize your edge even earlier. How high did you finish in those contests?
Oh god, not super high. I know that much. And I want to say so. I want to say like top 500 made it into the final in
Yeah.
BBM three, and I was probably top 300 or so. But I
Okay.
didn't really have a sweat, so I actually
Yeah. Yeah.
benefited from the DeMar Hamlin situation. I had
Okay.
nobody in
Yeah.
that
Right.
game, so I was
Right.
only going to drop from where I finished. But yeah,
Yep.
didn't finish particularly high anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, still amazing that you're able to pump two lineups into that contest. We know how tough it is. This year it is slightly easier with the 1 out of 12, 1 out of 16. How do you feel about the setup to BBM5, the new prize pool this year?
Yeah, so I am a little bit different from most people in that I did love the regular season leaderboard. I thought that
Yeah.
was just kind of cool. Just like having the best team, like having some benefit to doing really well in the regular season. Now it's like
Yeah.
you
Right.
don't really sweat until the playoffs, but I still
Mhm.
I love that it is so flat. There is a lot more money in that final, obviously, as a result. So
Yeah.
there are pros and cons, and like everybody else has pointed out, they've been offering tons of other contests that I love on Underdog
Yeah.
also, so I can
Right.
get my week to
Right.
week sweats in those other contests. So at the end of the day, I think it's a positive change overall. I love the developments they've made, coming out with a bunch of new contests. I love the weekly winners format. Really fun to see you taking a database approach to weekly winners.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah,
That's been fun. And I got a little word from a little birdie that the full data set is going to be released soon.
Oh, no
So
way.
yeah, we're
That's
going to be
awesome.
getting, and once that happens, like you're going to see a wave of people attack weekly winners.
Yep.
But I know, like you like your edge. You like to find where the edges are, and where those ADPs are unsettled. My God, like it's time to eat, in my opinion. Same
Yep.
thing if we get a super flex draft tournament like soon. Those first 2 days before the QBs all move up like 3-4 rounds, those are the best days to draft those. So I've been waiting for super flex, even though I'm not
I think it's
a big
coming.
super flex guy.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I think I heard that it is coming. So last year I did a bunch of those and never got a top 3 pick or top 4 pick, whatever
That's
the break
crazy.
was between like the
Josh
elites.
Allen trying to
Yeah,
get
it was brutal. So
Hurts.
hopefully this year I'll get a couple of those, make up for it.
What are your thoughts on the high stakes contests? Are you jumping into any of those?
I haven't been. Just I'm unemployed at this point. I was let go from my job in January, so I'm kind of like, all right, gotta, and I already told everybody I'm going to be streaming 150 Bestball Mania draft. So it's like, okay, I've already committed to all of that money going into Bestball Mania, so gotta pick my spots in the other contests.
Okay, so that makes sense because I saw a little bit from Pete saying like
Yeah.
he was the youngest. Now you're gonna be the oldest to ever
Yeah.
like stream
I mean,
all
he's
150.
making fun
That's
of me because I came out and said that was the thing. That's the only thing I have going for me because Pete already did 150. What do I have that Pete doesn't have? I'm older than Pete, so I can make the claim that I'm the oldest, which is,
that's the best.
maybe not the claim he should be going for, but it's the best I got. And like nobody older than me is really streaming best ball anyway.
I love that. That is so funny. Uh, all right, let's jump into a little bit of the rankings. Your favorite players to draft. Who is the Neil Orfield staple pick at this point this offseason that you're all in on?
Yeah, so it's been, I mean, it was Dontavian Wicks, and now it feels like that's
Yeah.
everybody's pick. So
Hmm.
I'm going to back off of that one. Jaleel McLaughlin, definitely one of those guys. But I'll throw out my most recent, the guy that I'm really in on right now is Khalil Herbert, just
Oh
because
yeah.
I really think like he is probably the RB2 for the Bears. He is a
Hmm.
talented running back on a good offense. As of right now, I think he's probably the RB2 in a good offense, and he's being drafted like the RB2 on a mediocre to bad offense. Like he's going
Yeah.
super late
Yeah.
in drafts. And also there are rumors that he might be traded. If he gets traded,
I
I
hope so.
expect his situation to be only better. So yeah, that's obviously what I'm really hoping for with Khalil
Of
Herbert
course.
is
Of
that he gets
course.
traded to somewhere better. But I'm like, yeah, he's an obvious pick to me where
Yeah.
he's going right now. I feel like he's being drafted essentially out of Florida. Obviously any player can get
Yeah.
injured, but like he is going to be playing somewhere. I think he's going to have opportunities and he's got major upside.
It's kind of funny too. Like I think the draft community doesn't know what to do with those two guys, Rashawn and
Those are the
Herbert.
best.
So they're
Yep.
like, I just won't draft either of them, and like their ADP falls to this spot where it's like, wow, that they could both exceed that ADP. Uh, I think relatively easily. So
Yep.
you're just looking for a couple spike weeks out of guys that go in the 180s. So
Yeah.
with the potential of an injury to the starter and obviously having a bigger role, that's the big thing with those RBs that go late. But I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Who's someone that you're going to have zero or near zero of based on their ADP?
I mean, it's rare for me to really take zero of anybody. I am a pretty spread out kind of player.
Yeah.
I'm going to be well under the field on Nick Chubb, TJ Hawkinson for sure, like the injured guys who I just don't think are really going to pay off their price tags. George Pickens of the, I actually mentioned this in your chat, I think last night, that he's
Yep.
just where he's going. I'm just not getting much George Pickens. He will be on that list for
makes
me.
sense.
I am forcing myself to get some George Pickens. And then there's obviously like the Adam Thielen again, after making that mistake last year, going to make that mistake again this year and just assume he's not the guy.
Yeah, dude. I'm right there with you. Completely faded Thielen last year, and somehow that like negatively hurts your advance rates. And then Adam Thielen turns into Adam Thielen for the second half of the season. It's like, who were you the first half? That was crazy.
Right.
But we did sneak into a BBM room. We
Let's
tipped
go.
off the Patreon members as well as the 2 memberships. We appreciate you. Frank, go away. Go away. Frank in the 5 spot. He will try to be a thorn in our side. Ben at 1. Anyone else sneak in here? I don't think so. Oh, wow. There is a sea of badgeless people behind us.
Wow, look at that. I
This
don't
could
think
be-
I don't think I've ever seen that this year. This many badgeless players in June is crazy.
I like this because then on the way back around, we might be able to scoop something crazy at like 40.
Oh, that's right. They're all on that side of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
love that.
So
Interesting.
let's see how this one goes. Any hot takes in the first round? Players that you want less of to grab a little more of the others?
There's a player that I don't want to have zero of. I might have zero or close to zero of Jameer Gibbs right now, just because he's like at the, I want to go zero RB most often. And like, I make exceptions for Bijan and Brees Hall and McCaffrey, obviously. But I don't really make that exception for Jameer Gibbs, which I don't want to have zero Jameer Gibbs. He obviously has league winning upside. But I imagine I'll be pretty well under the field there.
Yeah, I like that one too. He's actually someone that we had as an early fade list on our BBM
Oh, wow.
draft guide, as well as AJ Brown, a little higher on Wilson. Um, definitely interesting. That we update every 20%. So an update to that draft guide's coming, and CSV we'd like to do once a week. Have you dipped into anything rankings wise?
No, I have not. I've been thinking about doing my own rankings because I do have opinions. I typically just use ETR or Legendary Upside.
Yep.
So you're doing your own rankings here.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Definitely lean into the takes. First share of Jefferson feels
Ooh,
right
yeah.
here. I haven't been able to get really a lot of pick six in particular. So
I'm a Vikings fan, Minnesota boy, so happy to get some Jefferson.
Perfect. How many BBMs are you through so far?
Something like 40. I don't know maybe not quite at 40. Yeah, I could check my stream to know for sure because they've all been streamed. But yeah, I think maybe 38, something like that.
Nice. I think this is number 25 for us. So we're gonna start picking up pace. Going to be getting a lot of news now with OTAs moving on. You sort of get like the word of, okay, like Evan Hall might be there. Eric Gray might be the number 2 there over Tyrone. So you sort of get these like little murmurs.
Nuggets. That's right.
Exactly.
I had a question for you and I just blanked. Yeah. It's so different for me to not be the host and so nice to be the guest rather than the host. So I don't need to ask all the questions I have, but I did have a question. Now I forgot what it was. Oh, are you streaming all of your drafts?
BBMs? No. BBMs, no. Sorry, camera's in and out. Still, the technology side is is new for us with the new camera. Not all the BBMs. It would just be too much of a time constraint for us where I'm doing so many of the other contests. And when people have your ranks specifically and they're joining you in the drafts, it makes it a little bit of a pain, I will say. But
I could see that.
But I really don't mind. If I can get as many people on my side to eat as possible, that's my goal.
So do you have your own site or just a Discord where you put this stuff?
Right now it's a Discord. Going to be dropping a website, not a personal website, but one for this overlay and some other draft tools. I'll be coming this week. That'll be very exciting to drop for everyone. I know I think you may have even dipped your toes in some of it with Josh on the Twitter machine with the correlation engine.
Oh yeah. So how many members are there of the Dog Pound? Meaning like of the team, not subscribers.
So like production, HR, like you want the whole like CEO, CFO. It's me. It's just me. We got one. I had a funny video.
Josh is not okay.
I had a funny video of my son. He's 14 months old and he's slapping the keyboard and Twitter just happens to be open. I just record a quick video.
That's great.
Like the Pound social media team right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll find it. It's quality. All right, coming up on the second pick, please. Drake London, please.
Oh man, we were so close.
That would have been gross.
That would have been incredible.
Now, I don't care really who we go here. What are your thoughts on Ayuk?
Yeah, I like Ayuk. Do we have concerns he's going to be traded to the Steelers? Like, where does that value go if Ayuk gets traded to the Steelers?
Oh God.
I'm still happy to do it.
He goes probably behind Devonta Smith if that happens.
Yeah, he's going to drop so much if he goes to the Steelers. And George Pickens, I'll feel pretty good about my George Pickens fate if Ayuk does get traded. I just saw the rumor today. Either Ayuk or Debo might be, in play for the Steelers. But that was, I don't know if it was a trusted source. Really, I saw some people disputing whether there's any merit to it.
It would be interesting, and I have been a little hesitant to draft. So now we have a team where it's our first share of both of these guys, which is interesting for JJ. But again, that's just where you're picking on what side of the board. I had a pounder DM me yesterday, and he said, I have 74 drafts in one share of CMC post NFL draft. I'm like, the variance could come back around. There's still time.
Yeah, that is kind of rough because CMC is one of those, like he could obviously break the whole format like again this year.
McCaffrey, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Damn, family dinner went too long. That's never a problem. That is never a problem. I'm an honorary member. So that's the thing. Like, we have people that will chip in. Like Adam just put something in the Discord, sort of condensing all of the beat writer reporters like news on QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, sorted it all. Like, we'll throw up stuff, information like that. We have Josh who organized all the weekly winners data for me after like I pulled
This
it.
is Bestball Josh on Twitter. Is it
No,
Josh?
this is actually best Josh in Discord.
Best Josh,
We have
okay.
a few Joshes, so he's trying to assert his dominance in the Discord.
Nice. All right.
But yeah, it takes a village of people chipping in, and the Discord's been a real pleasure. It really has.
Yeah, that's awesome. How long have you had your Discord going?
I want to say about 1 year. About 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to unsubscribe before you get to 2,000, just so you don't have to do a 24-hour stream, because that sounds so miserable.
I'll send you 20. Send you 20 bills.
Yeah.
We're on track. Like, we're ahead. This was a big month. And I only expect it to get bigger as people come back to the draft scene in June, July.
Oh, so, yeah, for sure.
Keep hitting the like, keep hitting the sub, dropping those comments. It helps, and we're on track for that 24-hour live stream.
Could do the Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, Seattle.
That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, it's all week 16, which I'm cool with too. Yeah, the Green Bay would be 17. So right. This is definitely interesting. So you have the Detroit. Oh God, we have a couple outs here.
Where do you have Jaden Reed in your ranks?
Oh,
he's also somebody that I don't draft a ton of. Like I'm not that confident that he's the wide receiver one there.
Here's the thing. Like, I'll have Mixon over him. I'll have Kyle Pitts over him, but I feel like he goes in the right range of wide receivers. If you look at like the wide receiver tier here, who else are you drafting over Reed? Yeah, I still think he's a little expensive based on ADP, but it seems like at least in the wide receiver tier, he goes in the right tier.
Where do you have Terry McLaurin? Yeah, I agree. You have Terry McLaurin ahead of him.
Yeah, I do.
I do too. Yeah, that's one that for a while you could like Terry McLaurin for a while. I want to say it was going like 10 picks later in ADP.
Dude, he was at pick 60. He was at pick 60 something, and I was like, "This is crazy. I'm gonna have 30% Terry this year." Oh, look at Frank donating a YouTube membership early, and it goes to Nick. Congrats, Nick, and thank you, Frank.
Hell yeah,
thank you, Frank. It pays to be in the live chat right there.
Jewish Scarf says he's in a tier by himself. If I don't take the guy, I fall behind at wide. Yeah, I mean, used to be him, and actually Christian Watson too. Like both of the Green Bay guys were kind of like, I guess I want a wide receiver here, and he's the guy you take here. So
yeah. Maybe you don't have QB yet too, and you're starting to spot maybe Jordan Love and that sort of thing. Maybe you have Justin Jefferson like we do. You bring in,
exactly.
You're going for that stack, bring back.
Yep, this is the kind of draft where it makes sense to go get a guy like Reed. I also like. Yeah. I usually will take a Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid. I usually go for one of those tight ends in that range where Reed goes.
I like that too. Kittle seems to go a little too late at 66. This feels like his floor right here.
Yeah. Kittle is, I like Kittle quite a bit. Actually, I think I have less of him because I just end up taking those other tight ends before I get to Kittle, and I end up getting, kind of like the wide receivers almost as much in the Kittle range as the range that those other tight ends are going in. So it makes it harder for me I end up getting less Kittle as a result.
Right. That's true. What are your thoughts, ETN, T. Higgs?
Um,
Anyone else that catches your
we could
eye?
go Josh Jacobs for the correlation with Justin Jefferson.
I think Jacobs has to be a faller this offseason still, no?
Yeah, I don't take a lot of ETN. Typically here, I would go either Higgins or Christian Kirk.
Ooh.
But I'm happy to diverge from that.
Let's bring in Josh Jacobs. It'll be
All
my
right.
first. It'll be my first year. We have 32% T Higgins. All right, we'll come off. We'll come off the T Higgins click. All right, all right. Good,
That's
good.
usually
That's
what I'm doing there too. I'm usually just like either I'm taking one of those wide receivers, or sometimes I would
yeah,
go Trey McBride in that spot too.
yeah. Well, that's the benefit of bringing on a guest as well. Is they will get you off of your comfort zone clicks. That it's good to see how other people draft.
Yeah.
So we'll bring in Josh Jacobs here. We do have that little mini now, which is nice.
So your default there would have been going T Higgins.
T Higgins or ETN even. I think
Okay.
ETN probably gets too much hate. Like, which one is it? Is Tank Bigsby going to steal touches from ETN, or is Tank Bigsby shit and ETN should be going higher?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what storyline is it?
Yeah, that is true. Like ETN is, I think where he's going to me is fine. I don't think that Tank
Mm,
Bigsby is going to take a lot of his work. I just think that ETN is so much better than Tank Bigsby. I don't
he
really see
is.
that end of
It's
it. For me, it's more like there are so many running backs later on that I'm like
yep,
still like that I also feel like have tons of
yep,
upside. It's just the way people draft right now kind of leads
yeah,
you to the zero RB construction.
yeah.
So
I
I
agree.
just fall into it
Now
most of the
Josh
time.
Jacobs, I think Josh Jacobs has more competition on a team that likes to use multiple running backs
That's true. And Marshawn
more
Lloyd,
than
I've been taking a lot of Lloyd.
yep, same,
Definitely more
same.
than Josh Jacobs. So I encourage you to take Josh Jacobs in this draft, but only because he was falling and we had the correlation
Mhm.
with Jefferson. It's not actually somebody I draft a ton of.
This is crazy. 4 players in a row, first share. This is
Is
awesome.
that right?
This
Man,
is awesome.
it's funny because I don't draft a lot of Josh Jacobs. I don't draft a lot of DJ Moore, but I think it's a
Yeah.
fun draft. Like to,
Yep.
we are getting those playoff week correlations.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're still giving this team a very good chance. Uh
I like McLaurin. I like we could reach for
let's
Reed if you wanted to. Um,
let's go Terry. Let's go Terry.
all right, right
At
on.
5%, this will probably bring us up to 8, right on ADP. Nothing sexy about this, but obviously it gives us another out with Jaden Daniels,
Yeah,
which
how
is
are you
fun.
feeling about Jaden Daniels this year?
I need more, but like in these streams, especially with the Pounders, like I can't I can't get them. People are just reaching up. So maybe with Terry here, uh,
Yeah, I say we reach for him. Let's take him at 91. Or
yeah,
it's funny, like he falls at 102. Like we could just get him right at ADP.
we'll
I
see
guess
who's
let's see
there.
what's
We'll see
available.
who's
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
4 wide receiver start with the running back Frank. Same thing. Chase, Devontae Adams, Diggs, ETN, and Hollywood. That's a fun start. Ben at the 1 spot. And I got a funny story for you guys about Ben if you don't know. CMC, Waddle, Smith, T. Higgs, and Mark Andrews. That's also a nice start.
That is nice.
Ben was one of my first like dedicated subscribers that would come to every live stream. And I remember like the first stream that we had like 3 people or 4 people in there. Like one was me, one was my brother, one who knows, and then one was Ben interacting with us in the live stream. And he's been with us ever since. And that was, man, probably like year plus ago,
That's great.
2 years ago. It's crazy.
Hell yeah. I feel like I know
Thoughts?
Ben. Sorry.
He gets
Um,
he does his fair amount of research on his own. So he's also he's in these streams. He's out here. He's
yeah,
out
yeah.
here.
Nice.
Great dude. What is the biggest reach in rounds 1 through 5 you've done so far this year? I typically in the first 5 rounds, it's not as much for me about reaching. I'll have my fades. Uh,
Yeah. I think
that's sort of the way I see it.
I know on a stream with Scott Barrett last week, we reached for Joe Burrow at like 60 because we had Jamar
Okay.
Chase. So
Okay.
I guess that's probably my earliest reach. But I'm with you. Like if I'm drafting on my own, I'm typically not
Yeah.
reaching a ton in the early rounds.
There was a stream we did the other day where it was a Chase drafter, and then it was, I think, Chase at 3, and someone had the chance to bring in Burrow at 94
Ooh,
and passes on him
no way.
and passes on
I
him.
can't imagine
He
how.
like, and then it's like, okay, if you're not going to go like QB there, like you have to go receiver, and he went like his 3rd running back before his 4th receiver. There was some confusion in the chat.
Probably just somebody who plays a lot of season long. Figured it's the same thing.
It was tough.
How often do you think people just try to draft their season long team? Oh, we got to make our pick.
A lot.
Right.
I liked Kittle there too. Would have gave us a little double stack.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
What are your thoughts on this range here? I'm really good with.
I could go Xavier Worthy. Like, I think he's the faller, obviously, of the group. Aaron Jones is fine. Could go for Engram if you want to get a tight end. I like Worthy, and then we can go.
Okay.
Maybe on the bring back we can get either of Engram or Ferguson.
I like that. I don't know if Engram will be there. Ferguson will definitely be there though.
Yeah.
I like both of those clicks. That also opens up Dak, right? Where's Dak going? Right at ADP 91.
Yep. So I like that.
I do like getting one tight end by Jake Ferguson. If it has to be Njoku, that's fine too. But it feels like Ferguson's going to have a higher floor, like a much higher floor.
Oh yeah,
than even Njoku.
Yeah. Njoku worries me because he was so good with Flacco last year, and it's not going to be Flacco this year. So it's like we haven't really seen it, and maybe the Browns are going to say, look how good he was. We need to get him the ball, but like maybe they won't. Maybe Deshaun Watson doesn't give a shit about David Njoku and won't pass it to David Njoku. Right. So yeah,
it's true. It's true. We actually saw Deshaun Watson get there in a very ugly way, non-efficient, but gets there in the ground a lot last season.
Yeah.
He had like 4 fumbles too through like 5 games. He was a mess. He was an absolute mess.
Yeah, it was not great.
Ooh, we have a tough question in the chat here. I don't know if you're ready for it.
Let's hear it.
Is that a real flannel? And do you plan for 2 or 3 QB?
All right, that is a good question. It is not a real flannel. I am here's my flannel pajama pants. Look,
okay,
this is
this good is save.
Yeah, not flannel. I just had to prove, my flannel ability. But no, this one is not real flannel. This was a t-shirt that we got to make our pick.
So we get sniped on Ferguson,
JSN. We go JSN for the Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay playoff week correlations.
How about how comfortable are you bringing in a second RB here?
Versus if you'd rather do that, for sure. Who do we got?
You like Monty or Stevenson?
Let's go Monty.
Okay. So we'll grab our Detroit correlation here, a little mini with Ayuk, which is fun for week 17.
Yep.
We also have, do we have anything else? Yeah, we have Chicago. So that's a double correlated pick. Chicago, we have DJ Moore in a week 16. So that's a fun one.
Are you a Pats fan?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry I didn't let you take your guy.
No, it's okay. I didn't
trade you away from your guy.
No, not at all. That was double correlated right there. I think that was a clean pick. That was a clean pick. Hey, shout out to Josh G. Dropping 10 bills. Appreciate you. Get this man to 2K subs. Also hope this helps you get a new shirt, Pat.
That's great.
Honestly, the thief's still out there somewhere. So protect those arms, fellas. Taylor A joining the YouTube spoons. Welcome, Taylor. Thank you. Let me know what your name is on the Discord so I can get you in the tip-off channel as well.
How do you feel about this team? So we got 2 running backs, 5 receivers, 0 quarterback, 0 tight end.
I do feel better that we have the second running back before going the 6th receiver.
Yeah.
I just, even in this range, I'm fine with it being one of the onesies that we filled out. I do sort of worry about like diminishing returns at receiver. If we go a receiver here, right, we're probably only going 7 receivers.
Yeah. So now we got to start thinking about like what can we do at quarter. I suppose we could get Jaden Daniels, just reach for him a little bit here.
Honestly, this would be ideal.
Yeah, that would be totally fine. We could be done at
Stack,
quarterback
bring
at that
back.
point, and that would
Exactly.
allow us to stop at 6, 7 wide receivers. That's where I get in
Yeah.
trouble is when I take a bunch of receivers early and they're
Yeah.
receivers whose quarterbacks go early, and then I end up with like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I got to draft 8 wide receivers because I need somebody to stack with the
Yeah.
quarterback, and it ends up grosser drafts when that happens.
That's okay. That's when you just go Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? Save
That's
the
right.
day.
That's right.
Danny Dimes. Now, he's someone in my opinion that no one wants to draft because of results from last year, but my God, they went out and got him a true wide receiver one. He's a rookie. It's gonna be growing pains. But shit, he could be a crazy value this year if he just stays
100%.
healthy and stays on
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. He's a solid late round pick. There is, if they are out of the playoff hunt, I've heard it's speculated that he might just be pulled. Like they just might not play him
It's
late
true.
in the year, which obviously sucks
It's true.
for best ball if that does
Yeah.
happen. But drafting like you're right, I think it makes sense to take late shots on here or there. Not going overboard there.
Are we worried about Drew Lock? I would have been more panicked if they drafted even like Rattler late.
Yeah. So it's not that I think Drew Lock is going to steal his job. It's more like they're going to bench him when they're out of playoff contention just because he has a big old contract. I don't
Okay.
know. It's not a huge concern.
GTO, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah. T. Peter, injury clause in his contract.
Okay.
Yeah. So do we just take our guy Daniels here?
Unless we absolutely want one of these running backs because they won't come back around.
Nah, we've got 2 running backs. I think we
Perfect.
can.
Perfect.
There's such a long tier of running backs for me. Like I don't care
Mhm.
that much about these guys over the others. Did
I think
Purdy
it's gonna
go or
be.
did you just unstar him?
I unstart him.
Okay.
Scared you, but we also have
I
Caleb as
mean,
an option too
yeah.
with DJ
Oh yeah.
Moore, and again we're gonna have these. We could go Noah Fant as a bring back.
We can always get JJ McCarthy late. Like I don't know.
Yep.
I
Oh
don't feel.
yeah.
I'm not that worried
Oh
about it
yeah.
at this point.
And I like that. I feel like not enough people actually are bringing in JJ McCarthy. And when you have Justin Jefferson, you're leaning into JJ having a good year.
Right.
It's like last year. If you think about if you were drafting Mike Evans and Godwin double stacks, like, and I'm guilty of this too. We probably should have been drafting Baker, and Baker ends up more than exceeding
Yeah.
where he was going in ADP.
Yep. Exactly right. The one thing is we don't know that McCarthy is going to be starting, so it is possible for Jets to get there with Sam Darnold. But
It's
you
true.
know, it's still more
true.
likely that JJ McCarthy is the guy you need in the playoff weeks, right?
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. Sam Darnold could still be seeing ghosts at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of assumed that they brought him in more to be like a mentor to their rookie quarterback, but
Mhm.
hard to be sure. I will say I have a preference here of these quarterbacks.
Mm.
Although,
Yeah.
what are the ADPs? I got to remember. I haven't totally got myself up on the ADPs yet. Where is Daniel's ADP?
Daniels is at like 104
Sorry, I meant bye weeks. Yeah, week
bye
14
weeks,
bye week.
14. Yeah, so we can go Purdy. We can go Purdy or Caleb. I think 2 rookies would be maybe a little less sexy.
No, rookies are always the sexier pick. What are you talking about? Yeah, take whatever you. I mean, if you want to go Purdy, He's definitely the more comfortable, like probably the better match with
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and we have the stack with the bring back as well with Monty in probably the highest point total game, or it's got to be a top 2, top 3 game, 48.5 point total for week 17.
Oh, is that in your overlay, or are you reading that somewhere
Yeah.
else? I
No,
can't see.
that's
I can't read it that well here.
oh, too far. Aggressive. Yeah, try to put as much information on this, but someone asked too, is the percentages in blue part of the overlay? Yeah, that is.
What do you think? Carosone Strategic asks, where do you see Daniel's ADP being at the end of BBM5? Do you have a guess there?
Ooh, yeah. Let's see. I think I don't think he should pass Kyler. Where's Kyler at?
Yeah, I want to say around 80. I think I'd set Daniel's ADP at 80.5 for the end of BBM.
I think he has to go behind Kyler, but there's definitely room to rise. If you think about the late steam to A-Rich last year, it could be something similar to that.
Yeah, that would make sense. Um, yeah, I'm very much in on him where he's going now, and I've heard some very smart football minds talk about how great of a value he is where he's going right now. He should be going much higher than he is.
Yeah.
So I'm into it.
This is cool little nugget. Darnold having his first game of the year in New York. Little revenge game, week 1.
Revenge, love it.
Can we get that weekly winner stack going?
Yeah, let's go. Are
Play for
you
week 1.
are you playing for a specific? Is there a specific week you
Not
like the best? Are you
not
playing for
yet.
specific
Not
weeks
yet.
or okay?
I haven't dove into which week I think has the highest edge. Now, last year is very easy to see. Like you had multiple elite QBs having the same bye week. So going in another elite QB and
Yep,
focusing that week was a huge strategy.
yep,
Um, and I do think I had a top like 200 finish, which is tough. It's tough.
yeah.
I had a few last year that almost paid out the full investment, but you really need to hit that nuts outcome.
You really do. Yeah, it's very very top heavy as it should be.
How about Goddard here? We have
Let's
a
do
bring
it.
back for week 16 with stack bring back with Daniels and McLaurin.
Love it. Yeah, and we need a tight end. I feel like Dallas Goddard is a very strong tight end one. Like he's got some floor there. I think.
This the overlay is going to be available this week, Bubba. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be dropping a website soon.
Do you have a URL yet for the website?
Yeah, it's all everything's sort of locked up. It's just
Okay.
the finishing
Not gonna announce it
touches.
yet. Not gonna. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No,
That
no
makes sense.
official. It's not. It's just a teaser. It's just a little teaser. But
Sure.
we've been playing around with it for probably the last 6-7 months, all the way through the season. So just want to make sure it's no bugs. That's basically that's the goal. We want clean release. Clean release.
Nice.
Gus Edwards. What are your thoughts on Gus and his ADP?
I'm a fan. I actually
Okay.
believe in Gus more than
Okay.
I think most in the industry. Just I think that he's a decent, serviceable running back in a great situation where they're going to be a decent offense running the ball quite a bit is my expectation. So I think he's any running
All
back you
right.
obviously have injury like is a possibility.
Yeah.
He could get beat out. I don't really think Kamani Vidal is going to beat him out. I think
Mhm.
the bigger worry for me would be J.K. Dobbins being healthier than I think he is. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm making the bet on Gus. I feel like he's a relatively safe bet where he's
Mm.
going right now.
How about Gus versus Zeke? And Zeke, I think his ADP is coming down a
Gus,
little bit
Gus all
still.
day over Zeke for me.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh no, he's back in Dallas now. Yeah, I was thinking for a
Yeah,
second
yeah, yeah.
he's in New England. I know he's back in Dallas. Yeah, no, it's Gus for me. I'm more of a Dowdle guy than a Zeke guy, which might just be a mistake because Zeke apparently is just going to live forever and he's always going to get
Mm.
touches. Yeah, it's Gus over Zeke for me.
Who do you like here? We can go Myers.
Could go for
Do-
that
Dotson would be a
Dontavian
double.
Wicks. I do love me some. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We do have the Washington. I don't love Dotson. It would be
Yeah.
Jacob. It would be sorry. It would be Dontavian Wicks for me, just because we do have J Jets. We've got the correlation,
Okay. Let's do
secondary
that.
correlation going
Let's
on
do
there.
that. Let's go
And I'm
Wicks.
just a huge Wicks believer. Like I just
Mm.
he's been my guy all offseason, and now of course he's rising so much in the ranks. I haven't been getting him recently because every draft I'm in, he goes 2 rounds ahead of
Yep.
ADP.
Who's okay? I have to ask you this. There's so many mouths to feed in Green Bay, and it feels like everyone at least was being drafted in the big board. And even if the big board was 18 rounds, like Kraft was still going in that 18th round.
Yep.
Who's going to be the person who misses out?
Dobbs. Not a believer in Dobbs. I kind of think Wicks is going to beat out Dobbs. I also like Christian Watson. I think is a guy who is worth it at his ADP because if he stays healthy, I think he's
Mm.
going to really pay it off. So I draft Christian Watson quite a bit, but I do
Mhm.
also think that he has some injury risk. So I think that Dobbs is like, sorry, I think that Wicks to me is already probably the wide receiver 3, could be better, and
Got it.
also has the upside of Christian Watson has had hamstring issues. Like I have some concerns there. I think he's got extra, contingent upside
Yep.
for injury. So I think
Got it.
there are many ways for Wicks to get there. I think he could just be the wide receiver 2 already, the wide receiver 1 already. We don't really know the order there. So for me, Dobbs is the one that I'm betting against.
See, I like that. You're correlating your take. So I mean,
Yeah.
someone's someone's not going to eat. Someone's going to fail miserably based on ADP. It's definitely going to be a good offense this year, but just where everyone goes. I like Christian Watson too. You can sell me on him just from a single game ceiling standpoint, where it's like this guy can score 30 points in a week, and
Right.
in best ball, that has standing alone. That gives you value alone.
Yeah, I did. I will say a couple years ago when Rodgers was still the quarterback, when Watson's rookie year, I guess, it did feel like they were just trying to manufacture touchdowns for him. It was like at the
Yeah.
1 yard line, you knew they were going to Christian Watson. I never really understood it, and he screwed it up several times. It was kind of
Yeah.
strange. So I was not a huge believer. I was not really in on Watson last year, but he's fallen enough that I think he's a good bet this year.
Right. I like that. Kendre, are you good with Kendre here?
Oh, I love Kendre. Yeah, that's a great pick here.
We need our RB3 perfecto.
Hell yeah.
We need to start tapping RB here. What are your thoughts on tight end skipping this range?
Yep. Good with
Going
skipping this range. I like Musgrave, especially now that Kraft seems to be injured. I think that does just give Musgrave more of a chance to win the job outright and just be like
Right.
the tight end. And if he does win the job outright, like he's a great pick where he's going in a very strong offense. So I like Musgrave.
Sure. I like it.
Komet goes.
Definitely need to mix in more Musgrave. Let's see. Late guys. Hunter Henry, I got 42%.
Now that's a homer pick I've ever seen. One.
Come on. The case is there. He should be going ahead of Ben Sinnott.
I can't really disagree with that. I've drafted probably about the same amount of each of them. I usually go Jawan Johnson. Like I think that I don't draft a lot of Henry because I'm like, they're kind of the same thing. And Jawan Johnson goes later.
Okay. I need more Jawan Johnson and more Noah Fant. I think that's because I'm drafting a lot of two tight ends and stopping with Henry as my tight end too. So I do think he'll be a riser. So getting ahead of that ADP rise, in my opinion, is important early this season. But Jawan Johnson's rising, same thing.
Yeah.
Noah Fant's been rising.
Has he? I kind of feel like I've been surprised that he hasn't risen more than he has, at least since like Sacrilegious came out and he really liked him. I kind of thought Noah Fant was going to be a huge riser, and he's still been somebody I get pretty late frequently. Oh, Musgrave goes.
Yeah. So in the last month he's risen 16 spots.
Fant. So do we want Ben Sinnott on this team because we have Jane Daniels? Should this be your rare Ben Sinnott share?
I feel like we should tap RB here. I think it's gonna be more important to get.
Let's go Algier then for the run back.
Yep,
I like that. Washington.
I like that. Just because RB is going to fall off, and tight end we can get points at tight end.
See, I think part of I don't often go running back here. I mean, I do a bit, but part of the reason is because I believe so much in Khalil Herbert and Jaleel McLaughlin that I'm just like, this range to me doesn't feel that much safer to me, or at least is no more exciting for me than the Jaleel McLaughlin Khalil Herbert tier. So I often forego this. It's not
mandatory for you. Not mandatory.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Algier click. I know,
and I've heard several other sharp best ball players say the same thing. For whatever reason, I can't like. I've never been excited about Algier just because he's he has no case to take over the RB1 role. Like he's the very clear RB2. So it's basically all contingent upside. I guess he has, he does have some standalone value because he will get run as the RB2. But to me, it's like, I think Khalil Herbert could end up as the RB1 somewhere like to start the year, or Jaleel McLaughlin to me could win out that RB1 role. So those guys to me are like more fun clicks than Algier, but also he makes a lot of sense where he's going, because if anything happens to Bijan, it's going to be wheels up for Algier. So he's definitely a strong bet where he's going.
I like it. What are your thoughts on Antonio Gibson? Pretty similar. Not going to be the RB1, or has a chance?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the RB1. I think that he has, it's probably similar odds to like Jaleel McLaughlin. Maybe slightly lower than Jaleel McLaughlin.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Antonio Gibson where he's going. He is definitely one of my more common clicks.
Okay. Yeah, I like Gibson too. Just even should give you a relatively safe floor just with his passing work. And then, I mean, contingent upside, obviously, with injury. I do sort of worry with McLaughlin that there's 3 RBs there with estimate. Having the knee scope, I'll be clicking more.
Yep. Blake Watson there too.
So, don't mind the camera outage.
What's going to happen if we lose your stream and I'm here, but I have no control over the draft? I'll
Yeah,
just
you're
have
gonna
to
see
review
some.
your picks, I guess.
You're gonna see some wild stuff happen. You're gonna see some wild stuff
Nice.
happen.
I'll strip to vamp. Take my shirt
See,
off.
see, this is what happens when you try to upgrade your things.
Yeah.
This is why we
So
can't have nice things.
is Elgato the brand of your camera?
Elgato's the brand of the plugin. It's basically it's called the Elgato Cam Link, and it links your camera. It's a Sony camera.
Okay.
Jaleel
What do you like
McLaughlin?
here? You know I like Jaleel McLaughlin. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Let's bring in Jaleel here.
Hell yeah. I like that pick.
Now, are you stopping here at 5? Or are you grabbing one more RB here?
Let's see. So we have 5 now. We could certainly be done here, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm good with 5. I mean, we started pretty early with Josh Jacobs. Dave Montgomery really, brings up the floor week to week. Kendra Miller, another guy who could be the RB1. So yeah, I think we could stop here. Probably I'd be more inclined to go one more. You still there?
I think the battery just straight up died on it. So I'll have to figure that out. We're back. Maybe it just shut off from idle. It's probably just a setting.
Yeah.
Let's see. 4 picks left. I do think we'll probably get a luxury pick at the end of this draft where it could be a running back, maybe a third tight end. We'll see. Are you comfortable with just Goddard and Juwan Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's totally fine to me.
How about Goddard and Fant?
Probably fine with that. I don't love it, but I'm probably fine with it. Yeah.
Got it. Ooh, Drake May off at 170.
How do you feel about Drake May this year?
I think we have time to wait and see what the offseason brings. I don't think there's a reason to click him right now this early in the offseason.
Yeah,
let's go Juwan here.
Let's do it. Call it a day.
Lean into 2 tight ends. Again, we're going to have a luxury pick. One more receiver.
I was nervous for a second there because I forgot. For a second, I was thinking, is Dallas Goedert's bye week 12, and we just did the double bye week. How much do you care about bye weeks when drafting?
It depends. Like if these guys both have bye week 6, I'm gonna want probably 4 players that don't have a bye week 6.
Yeah,
it's the earlier investment guys that I think matter the most. That can really hurt you in a week. But even if you have a week that's 90 points or 80 points, whatever it may be, if it's a bad bye week, it shouldn't completely crush you. But
right,
something to keep an eye on.
Definitely a bigger concern at quarterback than anywhere else, but something that I'm always cognizant of.
Yeah, exactly. I can't say there was one today, a slow draft I'm in, where my first 3 guys were bye week 12. It was a slow draft that started, I think, before even the schedule came out. Okay. And I had to skip on Shaheed to grab Myers, who had a bye week 10 instead of 12. So
yeah, week 12 is tough this year. I've definitely run into that.
Yeah. It's funny going back into your teams, like big board teams, and just really cool.
I have not done it yet. I don't want to, I don't think.
It's really cool with this tool as well, because you can see, okay, what do we have for correlation? What do we have for bringbacks on that team? And you can see it very quickly.
Nice.
So that's neat. And then going back and seeing the bye weeks, it's like, oh, double QB, pain.
The good thing is everybody has it for these drafts.
Yeah, it's true.
Those are also 20 rounds. So it is nice that we generally were drafting, at least I was drafting a lot of 3 quarterbacks in the big board, the pre-draft stuff.
Smart. Yeah, definitely. Especially in 20 round drafts, 100%. What are your thoughts on Luke McCaffrey versus Dotson for the wide receiver 2 role? Do you think there's any competition there for Dotson? You think that's real?
Yeah, I don't think Dotson's any good. So I think it is a real competition for Luke McCaffrey. Oh, we should take him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
you want him? Do you want him over Franklin, who fell 24 picks?
yeah, yep.
Okay,
Because we have the quarterback.
I like it.
Otherwise, maybe not. But yeah, because we do have Daniels make the bet on McCaffrey. Yeah, I think that he's got a real shot
I
at
like it.
beating out Jahan Dotson.
We're getting some theories in the chat. What was actually happening behind the scenes when the camera went dim? Pat clicked on the mute camera so he could take a sip of his White Claw. It was a little halftime show. We had to pull some strings behind the scenes to get Luke McCaffrey correlated at 187.
I heard you say on Overs that stream that you haven't been able to work out as much recently since you have a baby. You still have a baby.
Oh yeah, 14
So
months. So basically, I
so
mean,
that's how you maintain. You said you do it mostly through diet, and I assume that just means White Claws over beers most of the time.
yeah, it's just the 12-ounce curls. That's how you get big, boys. That's how you
That's
get
right.
big.
Nice.
it's and you can stay in relatively good shape just through dieting, but having a
Yeah.
good base helps too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure having been somebody who worked out quite a bit, that helps you kind of maintain a physique as long as you
Yeah,
don't
for
just
sure.
completely give it up.
Exactly. Tank Bigsby goes at 191. I'm not sure about you, but I like Tank Bigsby in the 17th round because I think he does become a very common 16th round pick pretty soon.
Oh, do you really?
Even
Not
if
somebody
he
I've clicked a
sucked.
ton of. Yeah.
Even if he sucked, if I'm gonna get shares of him, I want it at a better price than later in the offseason.
Yeah, that's fair. What are you thinking? Are you thinking one more running back for us?
Yeah, I think one more. Our third running back being Miller, sorta sketch.
That is true. I don't hate Foreman. Um, I guess I don't hate Tracy either. Any of these guys, Tracy, Foreman, both fine. Alexander Madison, I don't hate as a late round pick.
How about
Evan Hall is
CEH?
fine. I hate that, but yeah, we can do that. Let's get me a CEH share.
All right.
No,
It's
I don't
did you
totally hate. I don't totally hate it.
did you see the bit? Was it Davis Maddock that was like, what if you just put instead of CEH's nameplate here, what if you just put KC RB2? Would you click more of him?
Fair, probably, yeah,
Probably.
would.
But we know it's CEH. That's the problem. That's the problem.
They did re-sign him. Yeah, I don't know. I just
Here's the best case for him. No Jerick McKinnon. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I'm not convinced that he's still going to be the RB2 come start of the season. So that's the reason I have not been drafting a ton of him. But
That's fair.
I guess it makes sense to draft him now when we do have the possibility that he is going to be RB2. Because if he's still the RB2 come August, I'll definitely be in
rise.
on it. Like, yeah, it's actually a good point. Like, he is right now the Kansas City RB2. He might remain the Kansas City RB2, in which case he is going too cheap.
I think I'm good with being around 8% right now. It's not someone that I'm gonna ultra lean
He doesn't get
into, but
drafted every draft. So that, yeah, you're probably above the field at 8%.
oh yeah, that's true. He definitely didn't start the contest being drafted. I think he's being drafted every draft now at 207 though, or just about every draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is. He is frequently being taken now. I probably need to be taking some more of him. It's tough for me.
It is a tough click. It is a tough click. But in this backfield, what do you think? Like Evan Hall? Do you like Evan Hall better than him? Do you like
Yeah, I've been
Gray better
taking
than him?
I've been
Allen?
taking more Evan Hall. I've been taking more Gray. I've taken a share or two of Gainwell in post draft stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I've
Very
taken
cool.
some Madison. Like, I've just been making my bets elsewhere. But it's a fair point. Like, Kansas City, one of the best offenses in the league, and he is currently the RB2.
That's the only selling point. We can go Jonnu Smith here, third tight end if you want it. I don't
Yeah, we could
think
do
we need
that.
another receiver. Running backs, it's probably diminishing returns on running back. What do you think?
Yeah,
JJ
let's do it.
McCarthy's there for a third QB as well. We have
could,
the stack.
yeah,
and
I'd say it's
bring back.
between those two, McCarthy or Jonnu,
Up
or
to you.
Jatavian
3
Sanders
seconds.
if you want
3
to go.
seconds. Up to you.
Let's go, Jonnu.
Oh,
Did you do it? Oh, you did it. Look at you.
Yeah, fast fingers, fast fingers. We've been
Look at
training for
those.
this moment for 184 people on the live stream, 102 on the YouTube, and 82 on Twitter. Appreciate you guys. And if you
Damn.
haven't already, go down, slap the like on the live stream, hit the subscribe button. We're doing a 24-hour live stream at 2K subs, and then give Neil a follow on the Twitter machine. Link in the description, as well as his YouTube. We're going to be on his show later this week.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Tomorrow we have Tyler Emo Cowboy coming on. The day after we have Nez. Wednesday's an away game for us. 2 streams, one on Bindle's channel, one on Neil's. I believe
That is Wednesday.
you're on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Thursday we have another guest on Thursday. It's Bindle's on our stream. Let's cover the teams. Ben in the 1 spot, 2682. Tua and Trevor, really strong.
Yep.
CMC, Brooks, Warren, Wright, Vidal, and Braylon Allen. That's fun too.
Yep, that plays.
Waddle, Devonta Smith, T. Higgs, Brian Thomas, Leggett, Roman Wilson, Javon Baker, and Zay Jones.
Solid.
Leaning into a lot of rookies here, but what are your thoughts on? And Roman Wilson falls 13 picks. Who's going to be the second favorite target in Pittsburgh?
George Pickens.
The second favorite? Oh,
I'm just being a hater.
Spice.
I'm straight up being a hater. No,
that was spice.
Probably Roman Wilson or maybe Muth. Like I really like. I'm out on George Pickens, drafting a lot more Roman Wilson and Pat Freiermuth.
Hell yeah. Us too with the Roman Wilson and the Freiermuth too. One of them, if not both, can outpay their ADP. Yeah, I like that. That was hilarious.
Did he have Evan Ingram on that team? Yeah, he did. Okay, that's what I thought. He does. Like that.
Yeah, he's got a nice little double there in Jacksonville. I don't think a Tennessee bring back, which is fine, but strong, very strong at tight end with Andrews and Ingram. Well balanced team, I think, too.
Yeah, really nice. Nice team overall. Good correlations.
All right, and then drafting at the 5 spot is Frank going 3 QB, 3-5-8-2, Burrow, Levis, and Gardner Minshew, the mustache. Although I don't know if it. What's the report? I know he shaved it off at one point. That's going to be a major factor if I draft him this offseason.
I'm not drafting a shaved Gardner Minshew. No, thank you.
Nope, there's no chance.
Porn stash or nothing for me.
Etienne Jr., Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, good amount of touches there. Brings in Chase Brown, Donta Foreman. I like it. That's a fun room. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Diggs, Hollywood Brown, Coleman, AD, Jermaine Burton, and Troy Franklin at 188. That's a fun team, yeah. Look at these falls on the rookies in this room. And maybe that's because of the Badgers drafters coming in and maybe not having as much rookie research.
That's true. Good call.
Pat Fry and Musgrave, so really leaning in to some of these early, late tight ends.
Am I saying you have 0% Musgrave so far? Is that right?
Yeah, it's at 0 right now. And some of that's because of my love exposure too.
Oh yeah. Not drafting a lot of love.
Well, we're 25. We're 25 drafts in. There's time.
All right. That's true.
This time. And then we ended up with Jaden Daniels and Purdy, with Josh Jacobs, Montgomery, Kendrick Miller, Tyler Algier, McLaughlin, CEH. Sort of like a modified double RB build. We'll see. This room could be gross, or maybe Kendrick gets a bigger role this year. Is sort of the hope here.
Yeah.
Jefferson, Ayuk, DJ Moore, McLaurin, Worthy, Wicks, and McCaffrey. Fun at receiver, and then we bring in the third tight end of Falling Jonnu with a little week 16 stack with San Fran.
Hell yeah.
Nice and correlated. I'm not surprised that Neil comes on and helps us draft a monster. Neil, before we take off, do you have anything for the people?
Yeah, come check out my stream on Wednesday. You can follow me Twitter @PlayerQDFS. Obviously, you said my YouTube, all my stuff, and come join the Flannelverse Discord if you are a person of flannel. If you believe in flannel, then join my Discord as well.
Is it cold out right now where you're at?
It is not. It's actually rainy today. It's thunderstorming here in Minnesota, but no, we actually have pretty warm summers. People think Minnesota is just cold all year round. It's actually we get the 4 seasons. It's very cold in the winter, but very warm and muggy in the summer.
Perfect. Well, Neil, thanks for joining us tonight. Look forward to joining you on your stream later this week. Pounders, I hope you have a good night. Happy Monday. I know it's tough to say, but you got to enjoy every day, or at least find a way. So we appreciate you coming out. Slap the like on the way out if you enjoyed the content, and hit the sub. Help us get to 2K subs. Appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh my God. Bindies drops 5 right at the end here. What a sicko.
Look
We
at that
can't
guy.
leave like that. Who won the 5 subscribes? Fantasy Football Garage, TX. Who's who else? Grant and Stars and You Talk Sports. Join the Discord. Let me know what your Discord name is, and I'll put you in the appropriate channels. Bindies, appreciate you, dude. And we'll see Bindies later this week too. Hope everyone has a good night. Pounders.